Good morning, everybody, and I would like to make sure about one point. I understand from all this discussion this morning that digital dividend is very controversial in Greece, and I have to tell you that it was as controversial in France in the last 3 years, and it is still, in some extent, very controversial. Everything started by the law 5th March 2007 on the future of television, where we had 3 different objectives which were defined. One for the extension, development of digital TV with a coverage of 95% of the population, which was defined. Some additional multiplex which was envisaged from the 5 that we had at the beginning. So more multiplex for HDTV, more multiplex for mobile TV, and also some additional simple definition channel. There was also a process which was defined for the analog switch off with a firm date, 30 November 2011, which was put in the law. A final plan which was mentioned to be decided by the Prime Minister with a detailed plan of the switch off which was to be decided by the Broadcasting Authority with announcement 9 months in advance from the actual switchover in each area where it would take place progressively. As there was also reference to the digital dividend in this law, with the idea that there should be a national scheme for the reutilization of frequencies made available by the switch-off. And the idea is that the majority of this digital dividend should be for new broadcasting requirements. So we have these 3 interrelated objectives. We have currently a transition plan, and we will have in 2011, 2012, a final plan. So today we are extending digital TV. We had originally 5 channels, 5 multiplex, and we have already added 1 HDTV multiplex and 1 mobile TV multiplex. We had originally, and we have today, 87% of population which is covered, and the objective is 95%. We want to have the refarming of analog TV. We have started to do that in 1 city today with the switchover of analog TV in this city. And we are already starting digital dividend for broadcasting with the introduction of HDTV and mobile TV. And we will have from 2011 the introduction of the digital dividend for mobile. All that is to be dealt with more or less at the same time. In October last year, October 2008, we had final plan decided by the government with decision regulatory text published in December 2008, just before Christmas, with decision concerning the switchover. 3 first cities where we are experiencing the switchover. This has started this month in Fournier. And the general process for switchover which has been decided, the information to the TV viewer, the assistance for those not being able to pay for the digital TV, and a plan starting from the east and simultaneously almost from the west, and then switching over until the center part and the south part of France. And there was a firm decision concerning the digital dividend, with the decision to reallocate from 30 November 2011 the frequency band 790 862 MHz to mobile communication and to the Telecommunication Authority. That's corresponding to 42 MHz coming from 40 MHz coming from the broadcasting, and also 32 MHz coming from the Defense Ministry, which was using the upper part of the UHF band for some tactical system. Also, there was, because that's part also of the digital dividend, a new multiplex given to the broadcasting interest, with an objective of 11 multiplex in total for DTV, plus 2 additional multiplex for mobile TV. So that's very ambitious, but that's what we think we can get from our negotiation with the neighbor. And the negotiation mandate was given to my agency, to the Agence Nationale des Fréquences, for addressing this issue with neighboring countries, and in fact it has started for at least 1 or 2 years. Just information concerning the current TV reception. You can see that today we have already 30% of the households using digital TV for the primary TV set, and less than that, 28%, which are only relying on analog TV. So it means we have already made half of our way to the switchover. taking into account that there are also some TV reception in households which are more often analog. The secondary or third TV set in household is very often simple analog TV. The authorization process has also been decided by the government. I'm not speaking about the 900 megahertz because that's something for which we have already authorized the operator to use UMTS in this frequency band, so that has already been cleared up. So our point today is to try to open competition for a fourth operator, and we have 3 blocks of 2.5 megahertz which are available in the UMTS core band at 2.1 gigahertz. That will start, the process of beauty contest will start in the next month, in March. At the same time, we are drafting a public consultation for the digital dividend band and the 2.6 gigahertz bands, which will be issued at the same time. That will be in the same public consultation. So that's a big bunch of spectrum which will be made available this year and next year. Auction are envisaged for these 2 bands, and there's also some refarming issues which are to be treated in these two frequency bands. Probably the most difficult discussion in making reality with digital dividend is cross-border negotiation. We have at the same time to reconstitute broadcasting networks because we have some of our rights in Geneva 6 which were above 790 megahertz, like Greece. We have to add new multiplex for this objective of 11 multiplex. We have also to protect the subbands because some neighbors, for example Italy, will continue to use the subband for digital broadcasting, so we need to have protection, to get protection from them, in particular in the higher part of the frequency band where we will have some base station which will have to be protected. And the result of this negotiation, so this result in terms of rights at the border, will be the basis for deriving the final plan for the whole France, because everything is constrained more by the border than by the center of our country. General principle with the discussion with our neighbor is of course the equitable access principle. So we have to negotiate with them, taking into account that there are some different objectives. Italy wants to have a lot of multiplex, more than 20, when you are discussing with them. You have Germany, Switzerland, UK, which wants to use the upper frequency band for digital dividend for mobile system, so that's making things easier. We have also discussion with Spain, which is in a specific area. So each neighbor has a different objective, and we have to take this into account with just a general, say, philosophical principle, which is equitable access. But we are progressing in this discussion and almost finalizing this discussion for the northern part of France. It has to be done because that's just a picture to show that if you take into account in one channel the Geneva 6 entry, all the colored area are corresponding to the interfered area, to base station, and you can see that it can enter quite far into France. So you have to enter in this negotiation to ensure that the frequency band 790-862 can be made available for mobile communication. Very rapidly concerning European harmonization, that was already mentioned, what we really want is this year, in 2009, a major step made in response to the second EC mandate on digital dividends, some ECC decisions which will at least define the 2 main technical elements for ensuring that terminals and equipment will be made available in 2012 at a low cost. And for that we need 2 things, which are the channeling arrangement and the blockage mask, which are the technical conditions for use of the equipment, mobile equipment in this frequency band. Just a picture of where we are currently within CPT concerning the channeling arrangement, and that's very stable. There's also some discussion concerning the blockage mask, the technical condition constraint for the base stations and for the terminal to ensure compatibility with broadcasting in adjacent band. And I would like to mention one last point, which was in the discussion and in some presentation today. The compatibility, the overall compatibility between mobile communication in the band 790-862 and broadcasting in the other part of the frequency band. That's an issue which is sometimes underestimated and which is also very often too much overestimated. There's a real potential problem, which is that when you will put some base station in the frequency band 790-862, you may face sometimes some interference to TV fixed receptions locally around the base station. In particular, in area where channel 60 is to be used and where you have some antennas, TV receiving antennas, which are just pointing to the UMTS base station. You may have some difficulties. But it's not more difficult than arranging the transition from analog TV to digital TV, where sometimes the coverage is different, where sometimes you have to change site and the pointing of the antenna is not. It's just a question of discussion between people which are interested, and that's sometimes difficult to make broadcasting people and mobile operators discussing. But this is something that we have started to do, and I'm sure that Ofcom is also doing the same in UK, and this is a solution which this is a problem which has easy solution with a procedure and ensuring some key principle in what to do when you have this kind of interference. So that's all in 10 minutes that I can do, and I hope you will have some nice debate about digital dividend in Greece.